Winzenburg on the weekend. You may remember a couple of years back when you used to sit in front of the television set, enjoyed the Roadrunner, Bugs Bunny, maybe Josie and the Pussycats. How about banana splits? Well, we're going to talk with a woman who's an expert on Saturday morning television, and she has a collectibles book out. So if you have anything from some of the great cartoon shows on Saturday morning, you're going to be able to call in and find out what they're worth. Right now, Dana Cain is here. She's the author of Saturday Morning TV Collectibles. It's a book that's filled with all sorts of pictures and a price guide for folks who have maybe something stuck back in the closet, like maybe a book or a stuffed animal or something that they say from one of the great old Saturday morning TV shows, most of them being cartoon shows. Dana, thanks for being with us today.
Sure, happy to do it.
And I bet usually on Saturday morning you are out at garage sales, I suppose, looking for collectibles, right?
That's right. I just hit one neighborhood sale and I'm back on break.
Well, thank you so much for being with us. The book has 3,000 items on almost 200 different shows. How hot of a category is this for collectibles?
Well, you know, it's really hot. I mean, everybody, part of the heart and soul of collecting is a lot of times people want to reclaim things from their childhood. You know, I don't care if you collect Fire King dishes or, you know, steel trucks, toy trucks or whatever. It's usually something from your childhood. And everybody, at least everybody my age, everybody from the baby boomer era on up through like the 70s and 80s, I mean, everybody remembers Saturday morning, rushing to the TV.
Yep. Well, why would you write a book on Saturday morning TV when you had written other books, for instance, on movie monsters and UFOs? This seems a little bit different.
Not really. I pick topics that I really love, you know, and I really love monster movies, and I love aliens and sci-fi stuff, and I like a lot of character stuff, and I really love Saturday morning.
What did you like on Saturday morning that you watched?
Well, some of my favorites were the Banana Splits Club. Loved the Banana Splits. They were they were sort of like a cross between H.R. Pufnstuf and the Monkees.
Sure.
Kind of. And I really loved Johnny Quest, and I really loved Underdog. And a little bit later, I guess the last one I really flipped over was Pee-wee. Pee-wee and Hey Vernon's Ernest. They used to be on back-to-back in the 80s.
So you really liked more of the live action, not the cartoon shows, because Banana Splits, they were people that had costumes on.
Well, that's true.
And then Pee-wee, of course, and what is it called, Hey Vernon's Ernest?
Right.
Those are all live action type shows. So you tended to like those a little more than, let's say, the Roadrunner.
You may be onto something there. Although the Herculoids, Underdog, Johnny Quest, those were all animated, and of course I loved all those too. I liked it all.
Very interesting. Well, we're going to talk about some favorite Saturday morning TV shows, and we're going to give the audience an opportunity to talk to Dana Cain. And maybe you have a book or a stuffed animal or something from Saturday morning television that you want to find out what it's worth, and Dana can give you a price guide on that. Or also, she's written books on movie monsters, UFOs, and animal stars. Like, you're talking about movie stars, the animals that were in movies, or what?
Well, real-life animal stars like Lassie Rintintin, Flipper Babe.
Oh, interesting.
But not going into the, like, cartoon ones. Although, I covered the cartoon ones in this book, so...
Mm-hmm. What are the most popular shows that you get asked about, Dana?
Well, you know, it's really across the board. I mean, I'm asked a lot, you know, well, what's the hottest one? And it just depends on who you ask. A lot of it is age, you know. It depends on how old the person is. And a lot of times I get Mighty Mouse from people who are in their 50s. A lot of times I gravitate more toward Mighty Mouse. Well, people in their 20s and 30s, of course, they're into He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, you know, that kind of thing. So it covered so much ground. I'd say some of the ones I get asked about most are probably H.R. Pufnstuf.
Well, I don't understand. I've never understood the appeal of H.R. Pufnstuf.
Really?
Never.
It was totally surrealistic.
Maybe that's why I didn't understand.
Total surrealism. Wild
Maybe I have a very low fantasy range.
Plus, I used to have a raging crush on Jack Wilde, of course.
Yeah, but they had that witchy character and
Witchy Poo.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems so unreal.
And Freddie the Flute. And Freddie the Flute would go limp. It was weird.
So, what kind of collectibles do they have for that show?
They have now. Finding anything from H.R. Puffin stuff that's vintage is very difficult, so it's all very expensive. They came out with a line of dolls, kind of like big plush dolls, and those are worth hundreds of dollars if you can find them. There was a metal lunchbox, which may turn up more than anything else, but still that's hardly ever. There was kind of a variety of stuff. Mostly what you want to look for are the dolls and the puppets.
Mm-hmm. So Puffin stuff you think is about the most valuable to collect?
It's one of the most. It's one of the most. I mean, unless you start going into something like Popeye, where the collectibles go back to like, you know, the 30s and 40s,
right.
And some of those get really... And it fluctuates from decade to decade. I remember 10 years ago, nothing was hotter than the Jetsons.
Oh, sure.
You know, and now they're just kind of, yeah.
Let's go to the phone line, and Sandra's up first on Winzenburg on the weekend. Hi, Sandra.
Hi.
What's your question?
I have a lot of collectible Care Bears.
Uh-huh.
And I have Smurfs.
Yes.
And I have Get Along Gang.
Yes.
On skates, you know.
Uh-huh.
And I have Cabbie Patch dolls. And their preemies and all of them. I've been looking and looking where I go to sell these. My child has been growed up for a long time.
So you're trying to get rid of them, Sandra?
Yes, I would like to sell them.
Okay. The Get Along Gang, there's not a lot of interest in. So I don't know what, you might just want to kind of
Just
Goodwill those or stash them. You never know. They could hit in 5 years. Care Bears and Smurfs, there is definitely a market base for Care Bears and Smurfs.
I have about 15 Care Bears.
Now, are those the plush Care Bears or the action figures?
No, they're plush.
They're
the originals.
Okay, and are they in good shape?
Oh, yes.
Do any of them have their boxes?
No, I don't have the boxes.
Okay. Well, the plush Care Bears are the most commonly found Care Bear items, pretty much. And without the boxes, you're probably looking at maybe between around $10 a bear.
Oh.
Unless you have something that's incredibly rare, like imported from the UK.
How would she sell them?
Well, you know what I recommend? I always recommend eBay. I don't know if do you have access to the internet?
No, I don't.
Okay, there's other things you can do. If you've got enough stuff from your different areas, because Smurfs are good too. Those little, do you have the little plastic Smurfs?
No, I have the plush ones.
The plush ones? Yeah, those are kind of common too. Now, those are probably only worth maybe between 5 and 8 a Smurf on the smaller plush. But if you wanted to, here's some ideas. You can call up your Collectibles. You can see who deals in toys. You can call them up and sell it to them in bulk. But if you do that, you'll only be getting about a third to a half of the value.
Mm-hmm.
But anything else is going to be a little more effort. If you want to find out where there's a collectible toy show in town, and then you can rent a table, but then you're stuck there all day at the table.
Yeah, or a flea market like out at the fairgrounds once
or
a month
a flea market
something,
or a toy show, right.
Well, thanks, Sandra, for listening, and make sure that you might want to look in the book, because the book has Care Bears and Smurfs in it, and it does have a price guide to them. It's called Saturday Morning TV Collectibles. Dana Cain is the guest on News Radio 1040 WHO, and Connie is up next. Good morning, Connie.
Good morning.
What have you got?
She was talking about H&R Puffin stuff a while back. I just have the thermos from the lunchbox.
Oh.
And I wondered if that was very valuable at all. And I have like Pinocchio and Dukes of Hazzard, just the thermoses.
Just the thermoses. What condition is the thermos in?
Very good.
Okay, here's the thing. With thermoses, most thermoses came out, they were either plastic or they were the steel, the metal ones. The Puffin Stuff thermos is plastic, right?
Right.
Does it still have its, I think it was its black cup?
Oh, yes. It's all complete. Just the lunchbox
and there's not a lot of scuffing on it?
No,
Okay. That's probably worth about, I'm going to say that one's probably worth about $20 to $35 for the thermos.
Okay.
Maybe even more. You might actually be able to get a little over $50 for it.
Okay.
And Connie, you said you had what else? He-Man?
My son, who is like 28 now, started the Masters of the Universe toys when they came out.
Well, she's got 10 or 12 pages of that in her book.
Okay. He had to have every one, so that was birthdays, Christmas, until finally he got a little older and decided this wasn't going to end.
Well, I'm amazed how high some of the prices are on some of those.
Okay.
Yeah, He-Man is just starting to really come into its own. Usually you need to wait about 20 years for the kids to grow up, get a job, and have some income, and then start buying back their toys.
That's right. Middle-aged men who have nothing else to do with their money. That's what it is.
Right. Yeah, and so He-Man is just now coming back in. And
with their money. That's what it is.
Right. Yeah, and so He-Man is just now coming back in. And what's really good with the He-Man is if you can find them still in the package.
Yeah. No, none of these are in their packages because he did play with them, but he never broke anything, and he treasured them, and he has the castles and, all the animals.
Yeah. Well, it's worth looking into, Connie.
If he has, like, the Castle Grayskull or the Skeletors, I'm suddenly blanking on the name of it. But, yeah, those are good if they're complete.
Yeah.
If they're complete. And He-Man stuff is going pretty good on the Internet.
Great. Thanks so much for calling News Radio 1040 WHO. Dana Cain is the guest, and we're going to take more of your calls in just a moment. Underdog, one of the many collectibles Dana Cain has in her book, Saturday Morning TV Collectibles. And as part of the book, she not only gives you a price guide, but she also talks about the show, that it started in 1964, and it actually was on 4 different times on both NBC and CBS. Then there's pictures in the book and, of course, the prices. We're going to go back to the phone lines, and let's see, James is up next with our guest, Dana Cain. Hi, James. Welcome to WHO. What's your question?
Yeah, Winzenburg. How you doing, big guy?
Just super.
Okay, I'm from southeast Nebraska. I live in Ankeny now, but my mother died in 1998 at 98 years old. I'm 60 years old, so she was pretty old when they got me. But anyway, I went down, had to clear the house out I was only child. Clear the house out, get it ready for sale, and I was down in the basement, and I opened, taking everything out and going to put it to an auctioneer and everything. And I found this box and opened it up, and I remember these, but she had every year from 1945 to 1955 wrapped up in brown paper Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Walt Disney comic books. Every one of them, almost like brand new, sitting up there and wrapped up in a box. I didn't know she even had them. They're the comic books, the subscriptions.
Right.
Oh.
Well, I tell you what, that's not really covered in my book. It's 60s, 70s, and 80s, but I can tell you this. You've definitely got something there. There's a book out. The best comic book reference is the Overstreet Price Guide. Overstreet.
Overstreet? Okay,
Overstreet.
I'm writing that down. Okay,
and
Overstreet.
If you've got a collection of that stature, I would heartily recommend running to your bookstore, investing in that book, and that'll tell you what you've got.
So it's an Overstreet Price Guide.
I know. I remember the guy, the auctioneer, who I know down in Nebraska, said, we'll sell them. And I said, no, I think I might keep these.
Yeah, I would keep them, at least till you find a big bidder there. Thanks a lot, James, for calling WHO. Vicki is up next. Hi, Vicki.
Hi.
What's your question?
I have some question about dolls, and I don't know if that will apply to the TV collectibles, but there are questions about Barbies and some other dolls I have along the Mattel line.
Do you have any?
Well, I know something about Barbies.
Okay.
I'm not like the world's greatest expert, but I know something.
Okay.
What have you got?
All right. I have 2 Barbies, not in their boxes, but I received them as gifts back in the early 60s, like 1961, 62 in there.
Okay.
And they're both in very good shape. I never would comb their hair or do anything funny with their hair.
What hairdos do they have? Is it a ponytail or a bubble cut?
I have one of each. I have a ponytail. She would be the older one, and then the bubble cut one I received a year later, and they're both brunette.
Okay, do they have green around their ears from where their earrings were?
Yes, they started to.
Okay, well, green ear is a common disease among vintage Barbies.
Disease?
And it was caused by, they used to come with these little pearl earrings, and then when you took them out, if you didn't take them out, they got all... So that detracts from the value. The fact that their hair is not cut is very good. Frequently, you find them with their hair cut, and that almost makes them totally worthless. Barbie people are really, really picky about condition.
Right.
So I'm assuming that these are. Let's see. Do you have any of the clothes?
Yes, I have like the original swimsuits that they came in, and also I have some, and I have like a airline stewardess costume.
Okay, you may be surprised to find out that a lot of times the outfits are worth more than the dolls themselves. It sounds like you've got some good dolls. If you've got a ponytail Barbie, she's probably not a number 1. Mm-hmm. The number 1 came out in the late 50s, and you can tell her because her skin is like almost white.
Okay.
Okay. but the ponytails were like number 1, 2, 3, and 4, I think. Maybe I can't remember on 5. But your dolls are probably worth, now this is probably because I'm not seeing them, but they're probably worth in the vicinity of like 50 to 150 each.
Okay.
But some of the outfits, there's an excellent book out called Barbie Fashion. It's actually in 2 volumes. You'll just need volume 1 for the older.
Okay.
And you can go in and identify the names of the outfits, and it gives a price guide. It's called Barbie Fashion.
So, Dana, you were saying that just the doll without any clothes on was worth that amount, and the fashions may actually be worth more.
Right. I just recently bought a Barbie collection. That's why I can kind of talk about it. And I got home and I went out and I invested in the price guides because I knew I had a lot. So I invested in them. And then I researched it on eBay, which I do a lot. And then you kind of compare. I was astounded. I have some outfits that are complete that are worth like $300 or $400.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Whereas the most expensive Barbie I found, which was a bendable leg mids, you know, she was only about worth $200 to $300.
Yeah.
The little tiny accessories are really important. Don't throw away any shoes or little things.
Nancy, you're up next on WHO Radio. What's your question, Nancy?
I have a Melmac plate from Jellystone Park. It's Yogi Bear and all of those people.
Oh, you have all the Hanna-Barbera characters.
It's all,
okay.
All right, Jellystone.
Jellystone.
Not Bedrock City. There's
No,
Bedrock
this is
City in Costa,
Jellystone
South
Park.
Dakota. Okay, Jellystone Park, Melmac plate. When did you acquire this?
Well, I don't know. My daughter's 40, and it was her dish.
Okay, so you think she's had it for like, you think it's maybe like 60s?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Is it in good shape?
Oh, reasonably, yeah.
Well, chances are, you know, I'm not familiar with that piece, but chances are it was part of a set. Usually when they came out with Melmac character sets, they had a plate, a bowl, and a cup. So just a plate itself, depending on condition, it's probably worth maybe 8 to 20, 10 to 20.
It's your Smurf station, News Radio 1040 WHO. Dana Cain is with us, the author of Saturday Morning TV Collectibles. And we're going to go back to the phone line for one more question for our guest, Dana Cain. And Donna is with us on WHO. Hi, Donna.
Hi.
What's your question?
Well, I don't know if this is part of hers, but it's a doll that when my dad was in World War II, he was in the Philippines. One of the Philippine officers had some of the enlisted men over for dinner. This doll was in a glass case, and they all wanted to buy it. He wouldn't sell it to anybody. And when he came around, my dad showed him a picture of me and said, "This is who I want it for." So before they left, the man took the doll out of the case, handed it to my dad, and said, "Present me to your daughter." And it's a full Japanese doll.
You know what? Can I stop you for just a second?
Sure.
It sounds wonderful, but I don't know a thing about it.
You don't know about World War II.
What I would do, I'd find a doll shop.
A doll shop.
There's probably a doll shop or somebody in your area that specializes. They're going to need to see it.
Okay.
Because something like that, like when I hear a Barbie number 4, I can picture it.
I see.
Something like this, I can't tell you anything.
Yeah.
Take it to a doll shop, let them look at it in person. I'm sure they could give you a value on
Great.
it.
Thanks a lot for calling. Dana, what about the idea that now we have a Cartoon Network? It is one of the top networks. I believe it's 4th highest rated network on cable television now is the Cartoon Network. I am shocked by the success of the Cartoon Network. How does this impact the prices of the items in your guide?
Well, you know, it does two things. It increases audience awareness, like they're showing a whole new generation, Hong Kong Phooey and Jabberjaw, you know. So it sort of increases the number of collectors for any given show, but at the same time, you know, it's also increasing the amount of merchandise.
Right.
Like if you go into any Warner Brothers store or whatever, it's flooded. I mean, there's like new Hong Kong Phooey toys now that didn't exist before. So, on one hand, it's upping the number of collectors, so it would be upping the values, but then on the other hand, it's flooding the market with new merchandise, so that sort of, it kind of almost evens out in the end.
Now, what about movies? We've got like the Bullwinkle and Rocky movie out. They've had Flintstone movies, George of the Jungle, Dudley Do-Right. Did those have any impact on the value of these collectibles?
Typically, the impact that it has is before the movie comes out. When the movie hype is going on, when the movie's announced, that's when people start buying up things saying, oh, there's a Flintstones movie coming out, I'm going to buy all this stuff now, and then sell it after the movie comes out. So most of the buying and the increase in interest happens before the movie comes out.
Right.
Then 9 times out of 10, it's a disappointment. And then at the same time, it's a disappointment. Everybody's trying to sell the merchandise that they've sort of gathered. So then it's not so good.
So what's your final piece of advice for those of us that are collecting things like this? I mean, is there a show on now that you would advise us to get out there and buy things at the toy store?
I always advise people just buy what you love. Buy what you like. That way, if it never increases a dime in value, you don't mind having it. And that's different for every person.
That's good advice. So don't buy it to earn money. Don't buy it as an investment. Buy it because you enjoy it.
If it says collector's item, it's not.
Thanks, Dana, for all that great advice.